This season, our plans really are imploding on themselves. So we had the idea to like, hey, we're gonna spend a ton more time in the metro this year, especially early ice.
However, Mother Nature has thrown the whole ice belt a huge curveball this year.
We did not realize how bad El Nino is going to really affect our early ice conditions, and right now in the metro we literally have no early ice.
We are playing a game that we don't get to control all the variables, so you know, Mother Nature's throwing us a little curveball here and we're just taking it on the chin and figuring out a new plan. So we are fake hitting the metro till it's frozen.
As we usually do, we have to adapt, and we had to make a run somewhere.
That's the one nice thing about our team is we're adjustable. We kind of fly by the seat of our pants, and we decided to head north.
Maybe a few hours north just to get on some fishable ice, bring some good content to you guys, because if we were back in the metro, we wouldn't have much, if anything. Now we'd have nothing.
This time up north, we're in Lakes Country. Where is that? It is in west central Minnesota. The area around Otter Tail County. Otter Tail County is right in the middle of it, 1,048 lakes.
But also around Otter Tail County, this area, like I said, even though it's broken up into essentially counties, you know, it's a region that was just carved out. You know, with the Alexandria Moraine is a big area that realistically the glaciers cause all these lakes. There's areas in Wisconsin that are similar, but they don't have the density of lakes that they do here.
It has just that name, the lakes area. There's tons of really nice crappies, really nice bluegills. It's kind of a multi-species fishing paradise. I mean, you can pretty much chase whatever you want to up here and have pretty good success doing it. So
we talk about on this show a lot, just like the build of fish. And you know, when we travel, sometimes we get to see kind of different things as far as, you know, what type of forage they're on or how fertile a lake can be and what type of fish that actually produce. So out here, it's interesting because the fish are built really, you know, stout and strong, and they're tall and deep.
It's special. These fish maybe don't grow as long as the ones we have down in the metro, but they grow tall. They are skyscrapers built to the max.
This area, the lakes area, is known as being one of the panfish hotspots of the state. And with that being said, there's a couple reasons for that. One, you've got really good populations of fish. You got certain pockets that have really fast growth rates, and the fish up here, the lakes are just so fertile, there's so much food that they just get built a different way than a lot of other places.
You come up here and you're gonna catch a lot of, you know, I mean, at the minimum, like some of these lakes you might get 8 to 9s, but I mean, you get on some of these lakes and it's straight up 9 to 10, 10 and a half inches, and I mean, you're catching 30, 40, 50 fish over 9 inches long, and then you run into crappies that are in that anywhere from 13, 14, 15 inches long.
The Lakes Country is amazing. It's actually frozen right now, which is very beneficial for us. And we're really excited to be up here and exploring an area we have traveled to before.
You know, we also have to stay reactive to what the conditions are, and I'm not fishing, so we came north.
It wouldn't be a winter in the Midwest without some cold-hearted twists from Mother Nature. So here we sit. The boys head out to explore in search of fishable ice, and they once again find themselves in west central Minnesota, what they would call Lakes Country. And nestled in the middle of it all is Otter Tail County, the crown jewel of Minnesota. Its borders encompass 1,048 lakes, more than any other county in the United States. A landscape littered with water, home to some of the biggest panfish you can find across the ice belt. An unexpected turn to their hopeful plans as they anxiously await the right conditions in the metro area. Who wouldn't love coming to the area where all their dreams could come true?
How's it going, guys? We're here on the lake. We're standing on like 12 inches of ice right now, and I couldn't be more jacked. We got the machines out, so we brought them up, not expecting us to really, you know, have enough ice to use them, but just in case, you know, we were holding out for that, and we got ourselves a new Polaris Titan. This thing is badass. It's got the S4 motor in it, and it's a wide track. So last year we had a few problems getting stuck in some pretty, you know, heavy slush. I don't think that'll happen this year with the wide track, so I'm pretty excited, and it is murdered out.
Yeah, it is so sick.
I love it. We've got an auger rack on there, storage, and we've got a hub house rack on it. So this thing's freaking sweet, and yeah, looks like GRIFF is already moving and grooving. Right now we are on actually a pretty big lake, but there's a lot of little bays and inside turns. So,
and we are looking for big ones today.
Yeah, we're looking for big ones today. And the nice thing is there's multi-species. So, I mean, walleyes, bluegills, crappies, even largemouth. I mean, it's going to be a fun day. So hopefully we can,
we want the first 15 of the year or bigger.
Yeah, that would be really nice if we get a 15. That, and I've heard rumors of, you know, 10.5+ inch gills out of here. So
that has a special place in some Waldo's heart. So let's go drill holes, get to fishing.
Okay.
Walleye. Walleye. Yep. I got it. So you can catch anything else.
That's a good walleye.
There you go. First fish. That took a whole whopping 2 minutes.
Heck yeah.
Schoolie.
Schoolie. Drop kick, red Maggie, hammered it. I mean, it came in and super just. I could see him. I could see some. Oh, dude, like this mark came on and I was like, whoa. And I was lifting it up and he like appeared and he just goes, boom.
Coming straight towards me. Yeah, they're kind of all over in here. Little bass. Little bass. He hit that thing like a freight train though. Swirl drop kick with a little Mackie motor oil. Little bass. We went out deep on an inside turn, and the first thing we do when we get to a lake is we want to figure out what depth range there's a lot of life in. So we started out deep in like 23 foot and just worked our way up this inside turn. Once we got into the weeds on the inside turn, we started seeing more fish. So now we push back into this massive bay where it's like a 10-foot deep weed flat. And now we're just kind of picking apart little micro depressions and inside turns inside this big weed flat to see if we can really hone in on the fish. And so even though it was a bass, that's a good sign of life. And it was super aggressive, so it was fun, but kind of points us in the right direction. So we know that there is a lot of life up here. We just need to find the right species now.
Once again, not take that. Baby crappie.
It's a pickerel, boys.
It's a little guy too.
Oh, you didn't see the one I caught, did you?
Yeah, GRIFF was way smaller than that.
Pickerel. Bart, keep me in there.
Oh, look at that. I wonder what they're eating. Wonder what they're eating. And it's still alive. That's what they're eating right there. At least the pike are. Go away.
Not quite it, right, Waldo?
No, not quite it, but I think we might have found it. I've got them back at me now. Yeah, but I'm gonna see if there's crappies mixed in. Here's a nice bluegill.
Very good. What the f are you doing? Big old gill.
You'll eat.
Just kidding. We don't eat those. He's too pretty. Hi, friend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a crappie. Hey.
Perfect eater. Gosh, they're just so pretty in the weeds. They're just super bright gold, and that's a stout fish. Has nice shoulders to him, but that's a perfect eater. Actually switched up plastics. I got that one on a swirl drop kick with a Mackie Chunky on the back, a little crawfish imitator. Whether or not that's a difference maker, I don't know, but it ate it, and I wasn't getting bit before, so that was perfect.
And they're just mixed in. You just caught bluegills before.
Yeah, I just got a nice gill before, and they're kind of just sporadically moving through these weeds. So what I think will be the best move, because we're having a hard time seeing them in the weeds, we're only seeing them every so often. I think our best move is just to pepper out this weed flat here, and we'll just move hole to hole to hole.
But we found that there's like key.
There's definitely key clumps, because like there's a little depression that kind of runs through, and we're on one edge of it. So I think that's the difference maker, is just being close to the edge, but being in the weeds. So yeah, we're gonna probably pop some more holes. Pink's on his way, so we're gonna have to go pick him up. But yeah, so far so good. We got a crappie, a couple gills. Griff just got a stud gill, so it should be fun.
I can catch gills. Jesus. This one's bigger than the last one. An absolute tank. Beautiful fish. We'll keep those big guys. I can catch these big gills though. Sorry, friend. There's a big one.
Eater or bigger?
That's not an eater.
Oh, okay. I couldn't.
Waldo. Nice little double right there, huh? Slab crappie, big gill. I like this lake.
Biggest one we put on film this year.
There's a big gill. That's a tank gill.
So we're just running this big inside turn that comes out of the main lake. It's kind of a trough that comes back in here. We're just working our way back in. I'm gonna let these things go, but we found, go ahead, Mama. Get that big mama out of here. We found that if you can find the weed clumps, like there's open spots and then there's heavier weed clumps, and we kind of see them just traveling around from weed clump to weed clump. So now we've kind of got it dialed into where we just like have those weed clumps pinpointed, and now we're all just like setting up and just kind of letting them roam through, because if we work towards them, they seem to be a little spooky. But now that once we kind of found where their hot spots are, we're just kind of camping on them and just letting them roll through it.
And it's been pretty good. I mean, it's been steady flow of fish.
Yeah, and then you catch a crappie, a gill, a crappie. So I mean, it's pretty cool that you can catch multiple species. I mean, we got bass, walleye, pike, all up in here in this stuff. So I mean, it's pretty sweet. You never really know what the mark is.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
We're just fishing like 2 foot above the weeds. This seemed to be the key.
Yeah, we're in like 8 to 10 feet.
Yeah, and
this little depression here in this trough.
Yeah, so it's been pretty stinking solid.
And now we want a real big one.
Yeah.
Now we want 13 and a quarter. Though. I mean, it's a good start.
A very good start.
And if they're built like that 13 and a quarter, 2-pounder.
Yeah, 2-pounder for sure. So kind of an explanation of what we're doing. You can see the weeds there, and then you can see it's not the best for this, but it's nice because you can find the solid weed clumps. Like you see that there. Those are super tall weeds. But we've been finding where these little edges are kind of the deal right along the thicker weeds. And if you just hold it there, a lot of times you can see them just cruising through the weeds slowly. Kind of takes a minute to learn it, but once you got it, you can use live in the weeds, so pretty cool. But yeah, you can see there's just like thicker weed clumps and then like nothing, super tight edges. There's actually a group of fish right there. See them moving along the bottom, right by this one weed right here. So yeah, just got another nice eater here. Little squad of gills came in. Not little gills, but they're pretty big compared to that. It's an 11-inch crappie. The gill's not too far off. But yeah, so they've been coming in, like the gills come in and then you kind of got to work above them, and all of a sudden you can see the gills kind of get a little different, and then a bigger mark come in above them, and that's the crappies just coming in and kind of saying, that's mine, you take it away. Then the gills get active again.
Oh jeez, that's a giant gill. Holy crap, that's a big gill. There's a huge bluegill. Big. Hey, Griff and I, we're catching. Bart went to pick up Pink, and
I just got one like that too. I laid it on top of the crappie.
That's awesome. That is a big gill right there. That one came on that black swirl drop kick with a red Mackie. Oof, duh. Release one back down, ready to rip. Nice. And that thing hit it like a stinking freight train. I love big gills that are aggressive. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Jesus, Martha, these gills are strong. Just absolute mules. These things are crazy how big they are. Yeah. Hold them with 2 hands is pretty solid. And they're super thick. Again, black drop kick, red Mackie, catching, doing work up there.
That's a decent fish. Big crappie. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. That one is too big to keep. Here's a solid one right there. 13 7/8. That's absolutely perfect. I mean, these fish are so stinking thick and they're so much fun to fight in the shallow water out of the weeds. But I just popped up the X100. I set it up just because I might as well park on a weed bed. And this ice house is stinking huge. I mean, I can stand up all the way in it, no problem. I'm not the tallest dude in the world. I'm about 5'8", 5'9", so this is perfect ice house. And it is huge and spacious. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, you've got like 5 feet of room right here.
How did that fish bite? Just come in and throttle it or what?
Yeah, so kind of learned a lesson from yesterday getting schooled by Griff. So I put on a black drop kick with a red Mackie, and I mean, big gills, big crappies have been coming in through these weeds like crazy, and so I just kind of set up shop on top of a weed bed that I was marking a bunch of fish, and it's just been periodically coming in through.
Got her tops her back.
Yeah.
One more look at her. She... Big B. Send her home. What do we do with all them bigger fish?
We release them, not into the grease, back into the lake to spawn again.
Nice work, man. Shut the up.
Yours in my truck. Flex that thing, dude. We're gonna have to take an open water trip just to use those somewhere.
I got him. Griff, what are we fishing for out here? Pink brought a rod.
Marlins.
We're going for the marlin, the harbor marlin out here. Look at that thing. This thing turned out sweet, though.
I know, dude. Yeah, I brought.
No, but we designed these for lake trout this year, so.
If we get to do it.
Me and Pink kind of went on a crazy little idea, and super long handle. I mean, you had more ideas than I did. You got it.
Well, it's a solid glass blank, so you can pretty much torque on it. You're never gonna break this thing, and you can really get the lever to them. Yeah. But it's also gonna be a pike whooping stick, so that's the that's what we're gonna try to do today.
Yeah, Pink got here, and we're catching big bluegills and crappies, and he's like, "Watch me catch a big pike."
Gonna lean on them. No, it's just a gill, solid gill, round. They got some shoulders, not gonna lie though. Thick. Heck yeah. Put her back. Bye.
They are mean. I don't think so. Oh, wow. Holy. Look at that bluegill. That might be a 10. Oh my gosh.
What?
9 3/4. Just stuck this gill. I went and measured it over in Waldo with the bump board. It's a 9 3/4, almost 10. Got her on this is a drop XL, and just like the guys said, the crappies are mixed in. They're all just swimming through the weeds. It's a really big gill, so we're gonna get this one back. You want to release those big bluegills, keep the genetics in the lake. Bluegills are really susceptible to that, so definitely get the big ones back. But just like Griff was catching them on yesterday, red seems to be a really good color up in this part, so put that on. Finally got to put the camera down for a little bit and catch some fish. That was a sick one, and I'm ready to keep catching them. Hopefully get some big crappies now, but this place is sick. Ooh, crappie. Crappie. My first one. Nice. I literally just caught that big gill. Drop back down. Perfect eater crappie. They're so pretty up here, and especially weed fish. They're so dark. Sick fish. Griff reel one in.
Pink.
Bluegill.
And you can tell they're all like this too. Like they're just orbs and they're solid red. There's no like color differentiation. Donkeys. I don't think so. Look at these. Look at all these orbs.
That's the second one that did that. Did they like show up above me? I just come up past them and they're like, yeah, fine. Another good gill. Another good gill. Dang. When they're tall, they're tall.
Crappie. Another crappie. They are really coming through thick right now. We are like, Griff's hooked up right there. I got a nice eater. I had like 3 more fish down there, so gonna get back down.
Come on. Come on up here. Oh, missed him. Missed him. Oh, another one though. That's okay. That one's bigger. Come here. Got him. Got him on that one. Another gill. Smallest one yet. But they're still down there, so I'm going to get right back down. Make sure you fix your jig every time though, because they mess it up good. Pinwheeling. Come on. Alright. So far we've just been hopping around kind of on this flat with these weed clumps, and the one thing that's really nice is when you drill and you're near a weed clump, we're kind of switching the settings on our Vexilar, and it really can depend on like what type of weeds you're in. We did hook some, so we're in this really nice broadleaf cabbage that's down there. So depending on what type of weeds, if it's this or you're dealing with coontail, you're gonna wanna just kind of switch your settings just a little bit differently. But I'm in low power mode. We're still in fairly shallow water. We're under, 10 feet where we're sitting here. So I always use that low power mode, and then I'm just changing the transducer frequency, and I'm using the FLX 30, so I have the ability to go anywhere from like 200 to 250. So 200, 225, 250, somewhere in there is really perfect for in the weeds. In particular, in this kind of more sparse open cabbage, I got it set at 250 right now in low power mode, and I'm able to see these fish down in the weeds and see my bait the whole time.
I just want to catch one more. This is a crappie. Nice crappie. Big one, yeah. No, I got him. There we go. Boom. Look at that one. You want to grab the camera and the bump board? Just a mule. Look at how thick it is. Did someone bring a scale? Just popped this one. I finally got a chance to fish a little bit. Got in this hole, caught a few eaters, caught that big bluegill, and it's going on. It's a really nice fish. This Lakes Country area and Otter Tail County are just known for giant panfish. This one is the exact same as what the other guys have caught, like 13 1/4, 13 1/2. Just a brick. Look how thick it is. They're built so good up here, and to keep them that way, we let go of the big ones. So see you later. We can catch some other ones to eat, but I caught that on. That's once again the Drop XL with red Mackie. But I think the biggest key today, you guys saw us earlier this season catch a bunch of fish on Pink's rod. Well, up here in these weed bites, a spring bobber is huge. So we're using Bart's Chronicle and Griff's Chronicle, because these fish are hanging out in the weeds. All of a sudden they'll just fly in and they'll come right up to your bait, but then it's just a little tick, and yeah, it's on. So if you guys are looking for a good spring bobber rod, if you want to do schoolie, get Griff's. If you want to use a spooler elite, Bart's Chronicle. But we're going to get back to it. There's definitely some bigger fish around, and we want to pop 14 or 15 today.
Oh, nice crappie. That's a good crappie right there. That's a solid fish. And it is an eater. Again, black swirl drop, red Mackie to the dome.
Oh, here you come.
Gotcha.
Another nice solid gill. insane, the average size on this lake.
Big old gill. I just caught this beautiful 9 7/8. Didn't go 10. 9 7/8 inch bull gill. So one thing that we really like to do when we are, especially like on a big weed patch where there's a lot of fish moving through, or even out in a basin when you kind of find a highway where fish are just constantly moving, we like to set up, and this X100 is the perfect one-man ice house to set up. It's super easy. There's one adjustable pole. It's like a supersized flip and go system, and we carry a lot of gear with us, and this tub is absolutely massive. So it allows us to bring everything from camera gear to heaters and everything. So this house, great option when you like to just kind of set up into a base camp area and just pick apart a weed bed.
There we go. That one's got some weight. Pretty fish. They don't have a ton of purple in them, but man, are they built. Cool gills, man. Like, look at that. Bigger than my entire hand. Drop kick, little white Mackie on there. Yeah, I figured you guys were going red. I'm gonna change it up, show up something a little different. But they're down there and they're hungry. I did just miss a crappie though that I'm a little salty about, so I'm gonna get right back down and see if I can pluck him back out of there. Yep.
Finally popped the 14-inch mark. Yeah, I mean, we're doing the same thing we talked about earlier. We're just running these edges of the weeds. I'm gonna let this one go real quick. You want to go? Bye.
And with those, we got giant skyscraper bluegills. Now let this guy go as well. Holy crap, this Ottertail County Lakes area stuff is just absolutely nuts. The whole lakes area in general. I think there's like 3 counties, it's like Douglas, Becker, and Ottertail.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all incredible. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. This belt of lakes up here is just something special. When you can go catch 14-inch crappies and 9 to 10-inch gills.
Like our average is probably 9 1/4 for bluegills, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like we've shot like 3 under 8 inches, I think.
They've all been big. This place is absolutely amazing. I mean, it just puts a smile on your face. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, it's hard to not stop smiling out here. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
And we just getting started.
Yeah.
Pink just got here.
We gotta go.
Hooked up. Fight here. Big gill. Biggie. Wow. Every time. They are donks. Freaking donk bluegills. Still with that same drop kick. Mackie action. Pretty fish. Got him. He's got some weight. Oh yeah, pie plate bluegill. Whoa, he's going nuts. No, don't do that. Well, this is a big, pretty one. Wow. Whoa. No, that's a bluegill. Sick. Nice orange bowl. Oh, he went nuts though and tied me up in the deucer cord. Hella bad. Whoa. I don't have the bump board, but that one's definitely over 9. Big gill. I mean, look at that. Sick. Alright, dump him back. Peace. Now I gotta deal with this. I should have yanked that, but I didn't, and paid the price.
Pretty much, big time there.
Ooh, big pumpkin seed. Big pumpkin seed. That's a beautiful pumpkin seed. Wow. Yeah, super orange. That's cool. That is cool.
Jesus Christ. That's 10. This thing is huge. Yeah, buddy. 10-incher. All right, so just got this beast. Finally hit 10 inches. I mean, it's barely scraping 10, but it's the closest we've been to 10. But he's got a chewed up tail. I think if he had a normal tail, he would be touching 10 easily, but average out here is insane. I mean, this is like the 5th one I've caught this size. I just thought I better measure one, but these bigger ones, you want to let them go, keep that genetics in the lake, and bye. Dude, this is insane. It just keeps getting better. Like, we're like, oh, it can't get better. It just keeps going. And
That red Mackie?
Yep.
Same thing as yesterday?
He's destroying up here. Pink's using a white one, doing really good too. Maybe it's just the profile with those legs kicking around, you know? Just something to really entice them.
Could
when
be.
we're doing that slow pump, you know, those legs are still kind of wiggling around, getting those bites. They're not very hesitant. You know what I mean? Like, they've been flying in like crappies now. So they weren't doing that earlier. They were kind of coming up, stalling, then they would bite it. But now they're just like,
What's crazy is it's been this good and we're now getting to the witching hour.
yeah, I mean, what's going to happen in the last hour? Could be insanity.
The only thing is my plastic might be jacked, but got him on that one. Big gill. That's a nice one. Sheesh. Griff just caught a 10. I don't think this one's quite that big, but probably a 9, 9.25. Unreal. It's like every time. Oh! I like when they get that kind of orange belly on them. Big bull. Cool. Ooh, this one showed up pink on there. Usually those gills don't quite hit that as hard, so it might be a crop dog. We'll see. Or another bass or something. Let's see what we got. Oh, nice big mark. Come on, do it. Oh. Oh, oh no. That was not good. But it's coming back. God dang it. Got him. Oh yeah. I'm thinking bass. We'll see what happens. Get this thing out of here. Don't have to deal with that. Oh, big crop. Yeah, nice. Thing is peeling some drag too. Sick crappie. Right on. That is a nice crop dog. Got me one. That'll eat. Probably a 12-incher. And he raced in. I definitely thought that was going to be another bass the way he came in and was just lurking, but crazy. Just picking through all those bluegills and all of a sudden, bang, nice crappie. Cool. I love the coloring out here. The real black crappies like that are really sweet with the nice greenish on them. You don't get them always like that. Sometimes they're a little more pale, or, you know, some places we even got them really gold, but these ones, love that. Beauty crappie.
He's so big. It's a big one. Ooh, jeez. They're all so healthy. Gosh, those are big gills.
Whoa. 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 Oh, he's growing. He was small and then he decided, I'm gonna be big. Crop dog. All right, they're still down there, so I'm just gonna put this thing on the ice, fire right back down. Another like maybe 11-incher.
There's still 2 of them. Let's see if we can get on them before they leave. Come on. What's up? Where'd you go? Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. See if we can do it to them. Get up here. Get up here. Got him. Oh, this one's a big gill. Donkey though. Sheesh. So there it was, back to back. They kind of came in together almost, but one really freaking nice crappie, and then tank gill on top of that. So you never know. This place is nuts. This is Panfish City. Let the gill go though. That's an old one. That was sick. All right, I lied. I said I was only going to go 1 more fish on that thing, but it's still hanging on, so I'm sending it back.
Holy crap. Wow. I just got this beast of a bluegill. 10 1/4 inch, just over 10 1/4 actually. We're gonna get him back. Big bluegills are one of my favorite things, so I'm super pumped right now. But yeah, like we've been saying, we're on just a weed flat right here. It's like 8 to 10 foot deep, and all we're doing is we found some clumps where we've been having fish come in, and now we're setting up shop on those, because those areas where the fish are moving through the weeds, we call them highways. So it's usually area of repetition where the fish just tend to move through. I mean, deer do it, fish do it, everything does it. They get in their habits of their lanes that they take. And we found ourselves a pretty good lane right here. All the boys are catching them. It's going really good. I'm still using a drop kick with a red Mackie on it. I actually upsized on the drop kick to a 1/16 ouncer. And yeah, it's going really good. It's a lot of fun. Are you having fun, Bart?
I'm having fun. This place is mental.
Yeah,
this is probably the best average panfish bite we've ever been on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it's not a big bluegill, it's a solid crappie. So I can't complain. This is awesome. Weed bites are so much fun.
Whoa. I dropped my rod. Another walleye on the kick with the red Mackie. Heck yeah. We'll be eating that. Right next to one.
Another big gill. Another beautiful gill on the dropkick Mackie. Hard to beat, hard to beat. And right now I'm in a big weed bed, but I'm in the middle of it where there's a little sparse patch, and they're just cruising right through. And it's been so stinking good. I haven't had to move. I absolutely love this. My favorite bite, where I don't have to move. Oh, that's another giant gill. Holy crap. That's a giant.
Mr. Waldron, what do we got going on in here? Hanging out in the X100? Ooh.
Absolute mooses. Just giant gills.
Here, come out here so I can see them a bit better. It's a little foggy. There we go. Look at how beautiful that thing is.
Yeah, nice big bowl. It slowed down, but the big girls are still eating. Woo! Can't believe I caught them, but I did. I actually made a change. I was using black swirl drop with a Mackie in red. Now I just went to a white and orange swirl drop with a cut down Jamie XL in a white, and that thing freight trained it, and they're starting to become a little bit more aggressive again, I think, but we don't have very many.
Just got a horse.
Yeah, so you've seen Waldo got that big gill, but yeah, I just popped this 13 7/8 crappie, just a stud, just thick, super built out here. I mean, look at the back on these things, just tanks, super dark crappies. They're just cool looking out here. They got their patterns, just you see every part of their pattern. You're not missing anything with these things. But yeah, it's starting to get a little darker out, and we kind of lost them for a while, and I think something changed, and their attitude just kind of changed. And now that it's getting darker, we seem to be getting bit again. Pink's on right now, so. But yeah, 13 7/8 inch beast, but we're gonna release her here real quick.
Nice bluegill. Pretty nice gill, but little for today.
Welcome back to the frozen kitchen. We're back in the cabin here at Barky's. We just got off the lake. Awesome day on the ice. It was a beatdown, not gonna lie. We caught a ton of fish today, some bigs too, which was super cool. Finally, we're on some ice that makes sense. I literally left the metro this morning and I was watching ducks like swimming around in the lakes that we were hoping were gonna be frozen by this weekend. So glad we were here, and we were on like 10 inches of ice, which is mind-blowing. Didn't even feel real. But like I said, we're back at the cabin. Waldo and Griff are back carving up some fish at the fish cleaning shack, and we're gonna get to cooking here. So we're making gyros today, which I'm super stoked about. We're doing it from scratch. We're making the pitas, we're making the meat, we're making the tzatziki sauce. We're going all out tonight. So we're back, we're ready to rumble. We're gonna get to making this. First thing I'm gonna do is start by making the pita dough. We're gonna get these pitas cranked out, and then we're gonna start making the rest of the stuff. Hype for this one, stick with us. We're gonna bang it out. Let's do it. All right, like I said, we're gonna start off by making the pitas. So this is maybe not the most traditional way to make pitas, but it's very easy. 2 ingredients. I got self-rising flour, very important, self-rising, and then I have full-fat Greek yogurt. That's it, 2 to 1. So I'm gonna do 2 cups of self-rising flour, 1 cup of Greek yogurt, mix it together, knead it into a dough. It's pretty flexible, so depending on what kind of ingredients you have, if it's a little too sticky, add a little bit more flour. If it's a little too wet, add a little, well, you get what I'm saying. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna put 2 cups in here. I got this measured out already. I got 3 just in case we wanna make some more. And then I'm probably gonna have Griff help me make these at the end. So I did also buy a bag of 6 pitas in case we totally blow it. So just going in there now with that Greek yogurt. Like I said, it's rough. It doesn't have to be super exact on this. The key to it is once you start mixing it, is to just feel that out. It should make a nice springy dough. I know a lot of the like cooking things are like, oh, just do it this specific way. This is not that. You can add whatever type of seasonings you want to this. We're gonna keep it super plain today though, and just make these kind of plain Jane pitas in here, but it should make a nice shaggy dough. So once we get to that point, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have this awesome dough ball going here. I ended up using about 2.5 cups. So I had 3 cups of self-rising flour, and I ended up doing about, like I said, a 2 to 1 ratio with the Greek yogurt. So I got this here, and it's not like super sticky, as you can see, like if it doesn't stick to my hand. It's just dry enough. So what I'm gonna do is hold this in this bowl. I'm gonna just cover it up, set it aside for probably like 15 minutes. It'll rise a little bit, but it's not gonna be like some crazy thing where it proofs out like super big, like a lot of bread doughs. And then what we're gonna do is just portion this out into the amount of pitas we wanna make, which maybe like be about 8 or so out of this ball right here. So it'll grow slightly as we let it sit, and then we'll come back to it in a little bit. But we're gonna start prepping the meat now, which once we're done, I will show you. We're doing kind of a interesting way to actually cook it. But we're gonna do full crappie meat for this. The boys caught a bunch of fish yesterday that they already filleted, which was super nice. So we have a bunch in the fridge. I just cubed them up already, and we're gonna start making some of our own gyro meat. Let's do it. I got all the fish just chunked up. So these are all the crappies from yesterday. Nice big bowl here. We got a couple pounds of meat. I have a food processor set up right here. So much like that last sandwich we did on the other episode, this is a very same technique. We're gonna blenderize this fish basically. We're gonna mix it with a little bit of mayo and some breadcrumbs. That's gonna be the base of this whole thing. You can do so much with that combination that I just wanna like stress that. It's like you have any kind of fish you wanna mess with, this is such a good way to like kind of create more options for what you can make with it. So we're gonna do that with this. I have a whole bunch of spices here we're gonna talk about once we get it all mixed up, but what I'm gonna do first, get this all food processed. I'm probably gonna have to do this in 2 batches because we do have, like I said, a couple pounds of fish here. You don't wanna overload your food processor when you do it, so I'm just gonna get in there, load this thing up, and we will get this going. So the goal here is to make like a really tacky, almost paste. So I know sometimes you don't wanna go till it's like pureed, but for what we're doing here, we're trying to make like gyro meat, very dense block of meat essentially. So I'm gonna get this thing loaded up. We're gonna let it rip. Then I'm gonna take the rest, get it in there, and we'll come back to it once I got that all blended up, and then we will talk about the spices we're adding here. But we're keeping this as traditional as possible with a lot of Greek herbs and spices. So let's get this thing ripping. Okay, so the key to some of this gyro meat is not only the seasonings, but blending onion into the meat. So you can mince it up, but the best way to do it is to take like half an onion. So I have another red onion over here. I'm gonna just chunk this up and put it in the food processor with this batch and then mix it in to the rest of the meat too. So that's a really key thing that I think you could miss if you're just like seasoning the fish. It would still taste good, but if you really want that right texture, it's got the moisture, it's got that onion flavor, add the onion into the food processor when you blend it together. Okay, this fish is ready to rip. So all that's in here is the ground up crappie with the red onion that's in there. Like I said, I'm gonna season this and then add some mayo and some breadcrumbs. So what I have here is oregano, rosemary, ground cumin, marjoram, and thyme. So these are like very basic Greek spices basically. So all these are dried herbs. I don't use any fresh in this meat at all. And then I'm using the Catch and Cook campfire and the Catch and Cook whiteout. So that's what I'm using as my garlic, is the whiteout. I love this seasoning so much. It goes good with just about everything. So I have all that laid out here, and I'm just gonna lay it all in there. Make sure you get every little bit of that. And you can play with this so much. Like if there's certain herbs you like better, you can mix those in or use more of a heavy ratio towards one or the other. But I found using about equal parts of all of those herbs in this is really, really good, especially with the dried. If you're going fresh, it's a little different because some of those are more potent. But so far, so good with that. So what I'm gonna do now is give this some mix, and then I'm gonna add my breadcrumbs and my mayo. Okay, I got all of the herbs and spices incorporated there, so I have some mayo. What I'm gonna do is just put maybe about a half a cup to start. So this is, like I said, a lot of fish. We have a couple pounds here. You don't want this to be too wet though, that's the key. So once I incorporate the breadcrumbs too, we're gonna mix the mayo in, then put the breadcrumbs in. So the breadcrumbs allow you to kind of make it as dry as you would like it to be. So if it's too soupy, it's gonna be really hard to hold it all together. What we want is a nice tacky, kind of like emulsion of everything together so we can form it into a loaf, and then we're gonna cook it. All right, I got the breadcrumbs and the mayo incorporated now, so we have all the ingredients in this meat. The reason for the mayo is really to just put more fat into this. The meat is super lean, so to get that really like good gyro flavor, we gotta have some fat in there. So that's kind of the best way to do it, at least from what I can tell with fish. So what we're gonna do now is get this thing cooked. So the best way that I've found is either using a vacuum seal bag or a gallon Ziploc. So what I'm gonna do is put all the fish in here, basically form it into like a loaf, get as much air out as possible, and then we're gonna toss it into a sous vide we got set up over here in a cooler. So, I mean, you can do this in a pot too and just maintain the temperature. So we're cooking it at 180 for 20 minutes, form it into a loaf, and then we're just gonna cool it down really quick, and then we'll slice it thin, get it fried up in a pan, and we're gonna have some bomb crappie gyro meat. So let's get this into the bag and drop it in to our sous vide. Okay, so I got this formed into a nice loaf. Just gonna make this so it makes really nice slices when it's cooked. like I said, I have a sous vide cooker set up in this cooler. So Maluna coolers working with us this year, super cool. And it's actually an awesome way to do some of this stuff because they're super insulated. So when you're doing like sous vide cooking, it actually holds a ton of heat. So what I'm going to do is just slide this in there. All this thing is doing is literally heating up the water that's inside of this. So I have it set at 180 degrees. We're going to put this in there for about 15 to 20 minutes just till it sets up. So it's going to cook that fish all the way through and like just drop it in. Super easy. I got the bag sealed up, so that's just going to chill out in there and we're cooking. It's that easy. So even if you have this out on the ice, if you plug this into a power bank or something like that, you could be doing this out on the ice. Or if you don't have a sous vide cooker, but you still want to do this somewhere, just boil the water, dump it in the cooler, and then close the lid. It'll stay right about that 180 for just long enough to do this. So that's another really good way to do it. But putting it in an insulated container like this is awesome. So while that's happening, we're just going to get the rest of this ready to rip. We're going to make a little tzatziki sauce, make these pitas, and then we're going to be eating gyros. So I'm looking forward to this a lot. Doing it with crappie is going to be awesome. Fish is cooking away over there in the hot water, and Griff is going to make us some pitas here. Like I said, I have a 6-pack, so if he blows this, we can still back it up, but I think he's going to do a good job. So I got the dough ready to rip here. So it's been sitting for about 15 minutes. It has risen a little bit, but what we're going to do, so I keep them separate. This is just regular all-purpose flour, not self-rising flour. So you don't want to use that for this. We're going to use some just to dust the cutting board and the rolling pin. And then Griff's just going to knead this dough up. So we're going to knead it for probably like 2 minutes just to build a little more elasticity in the dough. And then we're just going to part it out, make some pitas. And then we're going to cook them up in a pan. So I'll let Griff get to going here and he's going to burn through these. And then we're super close to being done. Griff just blasted these out, so we got a big pile of pitas ready to go. I have a pan preheating here, so I just have it on like medium heat. These things are rolled nice and thin, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is just lay them in here, no grease, nothing. Just lay them right in the pan on medium-high heat, and we're just going to brown them. They'll start to get slightly bubbly. That's when we're going to flip them over. So we're looking for just a little light browning on there, and then we'll just stack them up, and they'll just chill out until we're ready to eat. And the fish is done in like 2 minutes. So we'll pull it out. I'm going to throw it in the sink, just get some cold water running on the bag just to cool it down. That'll stop the cooking, get all the fat to just kind of solidify in there, and then we'll slice it up. So I'm going to get through here. We got like 8 pitas rolled out, get them cooked up. Then we're making tzatziki sauce, and then we're building gyros. All right, last step is to make the tzatziki sauce. So this is pretty easy. You can kind of put whatever you actually like in this, but the basis of it is Greek yogurt. So like I said, I had that container that we were using for the pitas anyway. And I would put about as much of this in as you're trying to make the sauce. So I'm going to go kind of heavy on this because we do have some extra pitas too, so that we can just use it as a dip for those aside from the gyros. So I'm just going to use that. So between the pitas and the sauce, I used 1 container worth. So still cooking pitas. So next step, so I have that in there. I have an English cucumber, and I would definitely use the English cucumbers versus just regular ones. There's way less water in these and not as much seeds. So I'm going to cut it in half. Half of it I'm going to use to put in the pitas. The other half I'm going to use for this sauce. So I have just a grater here. What I'm going to do is grate about, I don't know, maybe half of this portion here right into it. Now there is a lot of water in this, so you could squeeze it out first, but with the way that we're doing this, we're going to eat it right away. I don't care too much that there's some extra water in there. So this, by grating it, you're getting that really good texture, and you're also getting that really nice cucumber flavor. Ooh. So the other basic ingredient to this is I'm going to use some fresh dill. I'm just going to roughly chop up 1 bunch of that. Now you could use mint or, you know, I guess any other herb really that you like. Maybe parsley would be really good in here, but I got some fresh dill, so that's what we're going with. That'll give it a nice bright flavor. And then I'm gonna do the juice of half a lemon. Try to catch the seeds when you put it in there. But this is the easiest way to get the acid in there. So you could go vinegar, but I really like the lemon flavor, and
this particular sauce, especially with gyros. So with that, catch the seeds, mix it up. And the last thing would be garlic. So in this case, I don't have any fresh garlic, but I do really like that whiteout seasoning from Catch and Cook. So that's going to be my source of garlic action for this. And I'm going to load it up pretty heavy. I like quite a bit of garlic, and I know the boys do too. So we'll load this thing up. Yep. And then just taste it. I mean, if it needs a little bit of salt, add that. I mean, I have that campfire smoked salt, which would be really good in here. I might just add a little of that anyway. It should be really tangy. That's kind of the point. I mean, I'm sure you've had this before, so you kind of know what you're shooting for, but just make sure you're tasting it as you go. It's actually a very easy sauce to make. So got it to this point. Give it a little taste. That is good. So I'm going to leave it at that. I add just a little bit more salt, but other than that, I'm really liking it. So we can have that for the dip and as a topping for our gyros. Griff looks like he's almost done making those pitas behind me. And then we'll slice the meat up and then just give it a little fry in the pan, and we're done. I do have some tomato, a little bit of lettuce, and then I'll just cut up one of these cucumbers. I like to do them in half this way to actually put on the gyros themselves. I'll do them in half and then just so those will be perfect. And then I got some tomatoes too. So we'll make a nice board here to just kind of serve it all up. But with the tomatoes, I'll just do the same thing, just nice little half moon slices. So yeah, pretty much add whatever you want. I like with the tomatoes, right before I serve them, I'll add a little salt to them, just so that every piece that you're putting into it has really good flavor, so that when it all comes together, it just makes this really delicious bite at the end. So I think we're looking pretty good. Let's get this all kind of sorted out here, and then we'll get the meat fried off, and then we're eating. All right, so I just took the fish out. So I know it looks a little bit weird right now, but we basically have a block of crappie meat here. So the fish is poached basically in the sous vide, so it's very firmed up. I cooled it down, so it's barely warm right now. And the reason for that is so it really gets firm and dense. So what I'm gonna do now is just take a very sharp knife, and you kind of have to square the end off, so this first cut will kind of be a chunk, but after that, we're looking for like 1/4, 1/8 inch if you can get it, slices, and then we're gonna slice these in a pan. And then we're gonna have these nice gyro meat strips that we're just gonna fry up. They're gonna brown up really nice, and then we're gonna build our gyros. Okay, so I got a pan just preheated here, medium heat. Got some olive oil in there. Just get that coating the whole bottom of the pan. And then I just like to do like one layer of fish at a time, so you don't like stack them. But what I really want to do is just get some nice browning on these, and then we'll just pile them up. And then we got all of our ingredients ready to go. Man, does this smell good though. I'm ready to eat these. Heck yeah. So we'll give those maybe 2 minutes each side. They should start to brown up, and we'll just kind of burn through this whole pile, and then we'll have plenty to go with. All right, we got everything lined up, ready to rip. So we got the pitas made, we got the fish all browned up, we got a bunch of fresh ingredients all dialed here. And I cut up some pitas that I brought with just so we can eat the rest of the sauce too, because it turned out super good. But I'm just gonna build one up quick. So we got these nice pitas here. They worked really, really well. Put a little sauce down on the pita. And then I'm gonna go with a bunch of fish. I like to really load these up with meat. I think that's my favorite part of these pitas. So go with that, little red onion, some lettuce, cucumber, tomato, just really get it all on there. And then I like to top the whole thing with some more of that sauce. Oh boy. Oh boy. A little squeeze of lemon and some fresh dill. Boom. Crappie gyro, perfect for a day of absolute beatdown crappie fishing. So we're gonna crush this entire platter probably in like 5 minutes. And then we're gonna decide what we're gonna do tomorrow. But that is an awesome meal to make. It does take a few steps, not gonna lie, but it's well worth it. Doing everything from scratch makes it just taste unbelievable. I'm looking forward to eating all this. And make some crappie gyros, you know? Go for it. Yeah, we out here. We out here.